So we have arrived in Tuscany, and we love outdoor markets. It's one of our favorite things whenever we're traveling. And we parked the car because we thought we better go find some groceries before we hit our bed and breakfast, maybe a butcher shop. And we just stumbled right into their weekly flower market here in Greve. And I don't know if you can see, but the flowers are absolutely gorgeous. They're beautiful. And we like flowers, right?
We do.
We still haven't found any groceries, and I'm starting to get hungry, so that could be a problem.
We did find the butcher, though.
Yeah, the problem is the fine Italian salamis and hams, and we're in way over our head. We're not sure what to get, but we'll ask somebody. We'll get the hang of this.
Oh, look, there's the bell tower, and it actually works. It's 4 o'clock. I'm surprised how many places we've been where the bell towers actually work.
Yeah, they're
It's
into
cool.
that here. Hi, everybody. Here we are at our Agritissimo.
What's an agritissimo?
Well, it is a bed and breakfast, but it's also a working farm. Well, farm in the sense that they grow grapes for wine and olives for olive oil.
Grapes for wine. What kind of wine did we buy from them tonight?
The Chianti Classico, of course, because that's where we are. We're in Chianti.
And they make their own olive oil, so we had to buy some of that.
Yes. And we had a picnic. Tell them about the picnic.
Well, I took a picture of it. We should flash a picture up here on the video. We got in town, we got salami and some kind of really good, was it sheep cheese?
Yeah. So behind us, you can see the pool at the Agritissimo.
But it's cold. We're cold. We have on a light hoodie and
layered
a glass
jackets.
jacket.
Yeah.
And we're still a little cold, so it's not really getting in the pool weather.
So we're sitting out by the pool. You can see the house behind us. That's where we're staying. And then this is our view. This is what you need to see. This is what we're sitting here looking at as we're having our picnic.
Do you see the vineyard right below us?
Yep. That's where they grow the grapes for the wine that we're drinking right now.
So what were we just laughing about before we turned this on?
So we were in the Italian grocery store, and it's a supermarket,
Oh,
right?
I remember
Just
now.
like a supermarket. And we're just grabbing a few things. We're not loading up big, but we wanted to make our picnic. And I, at the last minute, said, Beth, would you please grab me an apple? I haven't had an apple the entire time we've been here. And so she ran over and got an apple.
Let me tell this part. So they had plastic, so I grabbed a piece of plastic and I grabbed an apple. Did I put the apple inside?
You did. It was encased in the plastic.
So I ran over to Steve. I was in a hurry, right? Because he was
last minute. I was almost. Yeah, I was actually checking out as she walked back up.
So then what happened?
So then the checkout lady looked at it and looked at the plastic and took it out, and she kind of went like that and she put it back in. Turns out, what was it, Beth?
Well, I had no idea until we just had our picnic, and I'm like, there was a plastic bag that I had your apple in. Let me get that out of. Our shopping bag is a box tonight.
Yeah, okay. It's our picnic basket.
Our picnic basket box.
And she pulls out this plastic glove.
And I'm like, what's this? Where's my sack? And he's like, honey, you put the apple in
the plastic glove.
So let's talk about driving. So today we were in Florence. And we were renting our car, and I fully intended to drive, but then I had flashbacks to Ireland where I didn't drive.
PTSD, it just hit her. All of a sudden, she said, take me off of there, I'm not driving. So as we were getting on to their version of the Autobahn, and I was about to floor it, I said, Beth, I'm just acting like a local. And I took off. And
no, you did good though.
But I just made sure that I was sticking with traffic and, acting like they were driving.
I was not as afraid in Tuscany driving as I was when he was driving in Ireland.
We're driving up the hill to get to the Agritissimo, and it said that it went from a paved road to a white road.
And we're thinking, oh, okay, it went from asphalt to cement.
Right, that's what we thought, but instead it was gravel.
because just how the Italians are, everything's more graceful and it's so much more stylish to call the gravel road a white road. So we're going to start doing that in Iowa now too.
So whenever we book a place out of the way and we're going down a road like this, I'm usually freaking out, thinking he's been scammed and it doesn't exist. But this time I believe him because there's been a few signs.
By that she means signs with the name of our bed and breakfast on it.
Yes, that's what I meant. I guess we're not just gonna skip into town, are we?
Well, I think when you see this place, you'll understand why you don't need to.
Yeah. Gorgeous. We find some very remote locations to rent a room at, let's just say. We like people, we really do. We just don't want to.
Okay, we were ready to get the heck out of Florence today because there were way too many tourists and it was just, everything was a hassle.
I wonder if
crowded.
Do you think our kids are like that? They all love to travel. I wonder if they also
we'll find out.
to travel. I don't know. There were lots of pickpocketing in Florence, and lots of people are clutching their items.
Yeah, everybody was stressed out.
And out here, it's like
okay,
God's creation.
So Beth, what happened? First of all, we drive up, and you could hear the birds singing, and the wind blowing through the trees.
Should we go back to why we didn't stay in Florence as long as we planned? Are we going to admit to that?
No, we're going to skip over the part where I forgot. I only bought one ticket to the Domo. And they let us in the baptistry. As I explained to the guy, no, I bought 2 tickets. Really? He goes, well, okay, I'm going to let you 2 in here, but they're not going to let you in the museum. So you're going to have to buy another ticket if they'll let you buy one.
And they won't let you buy a ticket the day of.
The day of. So Beth and I skipped
I
the museum.
I graciously offered to let Steve go in without me.
And I thought, I'm not leaving Beth out here with the pickpockets and the crowds. That's just not going to go over well. She may be saying that, but she doesn't mean it. I see.
Sure?
I am starting to get a little bit more intelligent as a husband. It's taken me 40 years now, but I'm getting it. I really am. Not everything you offer to do is something I should take you up on. I've figured this out now.
I don't think I would offer to do it if I didn't mean it. But let's talk
about. But that doesn't mean you would like it. So
the building we did get in when we begged
it was
to
beautiful.
Let me
it's called the
in
Baptistry because in order to get into the Duomo, which is the cathedral, they only let Christians in. So you had to go through this outbuilding and get baptized before they would let you go into the church. So that's what it was. But like everything in Florence, it had beautiful paintings and statues, and it was gorgeous.
One thing, did you think about this when we were in there, Steve? I was like, they should offer mats. I could rent mats out to people so they could lay on the floor.
I did think about that.
Because it was hurting my neck.
Yeah, as they painted that, they got to lay on their back on the scaffolding as they were painting it. We'll see more of that in the Sistine Chapel.
Yeah.
So we are in Rada in Tuscany, about 20 miles north of Siena, about 40 miles south of Florence. And it is absolutely beautiful. And we just had another picnic lunch. Beth, what did we have?
We had cheese and salami and I think they were pizza breadsticks
Yep.
and an apple.
Yep.
But do you remember, we didn't talk about this, but we've been having picnics for as long as I can remember. We've been married almost 38 years, and I remember picnics in San Diego and at Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco and
it's always kind of our
wine country.
To just go to a shop and buy something and then sit.
Yeah. We have not had wine yet today, but we're going to Abbey to have a high tea wine tasting.
Yep. There's an Italian name for it. It begins with a C. They have all these little finger sandwiches and they serve you wine. They're going to have us try 4 different types of wines. So we're going to have to pace ourselves.
And then there's a food paired with each one.
Yep.
But we've been running around taking pictures on all the little windy roads. And, this is just kind of our jam, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Because, again, there's hardly any tourists in this little town. And there's little turnouts so we can get the car off the road and just take our time taking pictures.
Well, and let's talk about the town. We walked all the way around it, and I was thinking that's all there was. It's like castle walls, but then when you find the entrance,
Keep talking.
you can
You can see the
we
castle walls behind
yeah,
us.
we should have taken a picture. It's just like in Venice and some of the other places, little sidewalks that are the street.
So we are in the town square at Rada. We're standing on the steps of the town hall, and then across the street is the church and the famous fountain. It's got a lion head in the middle of it. And an interesting story about this church, Beth. This is not the original church. The original church dated back to the year 1000. But unfortunately, during World War II, it was bombed and destroyed, and they rebuilt it in the 1950s in a completely different style. So that front is not the original church, and it's not what it's really supposed to look like. It's supposed to look like the building next to it.
It's still beautiful.
It's still beautiful.
I love all the archways. Look at that. There's archways everywhere.
There's
So
the little street
cute.
we came up.
And cars do go up. They have little tiny cars. Although, tell them what you're driving.
I'm driving an Alfa Romeo.
The first day we went and parked it, and then we were going to move to a different spot.
Yes, we were.
And the car wouldn't go.
It wouldn't go. It would
So-
turn on.
So we looked at the manual.
Put it in park,
Yeah.
then put it back in drive.
Yeah.
Would not move. We looked at the manual.
We're like,
The manual
we
was very
wrecked the
helpful for
car.
anyone who spoke Italian, German, or French. And so we just could not figure it out. And so finally, just off of a guess, I put my seatbelt back on.
So the seatbelt law, there's no signs about the seatbelts here because
They don't need 'em.
the car doesn't work.
The car does not move.
Do you think it's both
And
seatbelts or
yes,
just the
it
driver?
is. I've learned that today because
Yeah.
you were
We
taking
kept
pictures outside the
jumping.
car. And, I put it into park. I was going to pull forward a little bit. Nope.
Yeah. So another thing we learned today.
So this is the gelato stand that we checked out on the way in and said, you know what? It's right by the car. On the way out, we're going to get some gelato. But we forgot an important detail about Italy. And what's that, Beth?
Siesta. The stores close about from 1 or 1:30 to about 4. They're smart. Everyone goes home and rests
And takes a nap. And,
What a plan.
right, except for the guys that want gelato. So there you go.
So here we are at the
Verrazano.
winery, Castello de
Verrazano.
and we've had a wonderful afternoon. We went on a tour of the castle. It's been making wine since 1100 AD, and it's been owned by just a couple families. The
Verrazano.
first, and Giovanni
Verrazano.
was the Italian explorer that found the Bay of New York. So basically contributed to be the one that discovered New York.
So there's a bridge named after him.
Yeah, between Brooklyn and Staten Island.
Yeah.
So there you go.
So you came here knowing you liked wine.
Right.
But what did you learn here that you didn't know?
Balsamic vinegar.
Okay.
Okay, here's the thing. It did not taste like vinegar at all. It was like really sweet. And they said they actually put it over ice cream.
So I probably shouldn't drop this bottle. How much was this?
$52.
$52. And Steve McCullough liked this so much that he's like, let's buy 2.
This is amazing. It's aged for 10 years, and it was so good.
And it's 3 ounces, so we could put it in our carry-on.
Yes.
And we did buy some wine.
Yes,
We
we did.
sat with some new friends
From Carmel, Indiana.
and they convinced us we needed to ship some wine home.
So we're looking forward to having a dinner at our house with our friends that would appreciate it.
Who wants to come? Did you hear that? You have to be worthy.
Yeah, I mean, you have to understand that this is very expensive balsamic vinegar and wine that we actually had shipped from Italy.
What kind of invitation is that?
And,
you have to appreciate
gnocchi
this, or you
that
can't
we
come.
made by hand after our cooking class.
Oh, that's another thing we learned today. We learned it on a fork, and the gal from Indiana told us we need it
First
on
of
a
all,
board.
I didn't understand why you have to put the ridges on the gnocchi.
Oh, I knew that. you need ridges in any kind of pasta, so the sauce stays in the ridges.
Who knew? I just knew that it was very difficult to do it, and I thought it was like a hoax, like they were just tricking me. You know, you got to be able to put these ridges on top of the gnocchi. Well, apparently it's a thing, but there is a easy button. So we have to go get one of these olive wood boards.
And we also need a decanter for our Italian olive oil as opposed to our Costco Italian olive oil.
Nothing wrong with Costco.
But I mean, we're still going to cook with our Italian Costco olive oil, but we might drizzle on top our special olive oil.
So we've had a wonderful afternoon. I'm definitely a fan of Tuscany. It's been a lot of fun.